Joining us now, Majority Whip of the United States Congress, my good friend and one of the most effective members of Congress in the country, Tom Emmer, represents the 6th District of Minnesota. Majority Whip Tom Emmer. Tom, thanks for being with us today on this Monday, sir.
Great to be with you, John. I'm so fortunate I got here because the weather was so dangerous. Oh,
When did you come in?
last night.
Yeah, I came in. I had a night flight out of Lafayette because my son's team was playing there, and I changed it to 6 a.m. in the morning, and then I had to fly standby, but I made it in. But it's pretty dangerous out there. So good
John,
that you're here in DC.
John, it's a conspiracy by the liquor and grocery lobby. They do it all the time. And then you've got these wussy governors across the country that are like, oh gosh, you better keep the kiddos home today. Really, that's about the teachers, right? There's nothing. It's beautiful. I was outside walking this morning. It's nice.
I mean, I think half the Washington D.C. district, I think they closed schools. But look, I mean, and there's just rain. But I mean, I get it because you don't know, right? You don't know, and you
John,
want to bust.
please, you haven't slid that far. You don't know. You got to live, man.
Well,
All
you live in Minnesota. We
weather guy
live here
started
in
telling me,
D.C.
when the weather guy started telling me at night, tomorrow is going to be a little cooler than normal, so you should bring a light wrap. When that started happening, John, what has happened to America? The wussification of America. That's what it is.
Well, that's because you're from Northwest Minnesota, somewhere where if it's 15 out, it's a nice day. We're not accustomed to that here in the district. We still got the snow piled up. I tell you the good news though, I haven't seen a rat in McPherson Park in a month. I mean, where are they? Like,
At least not the four-legged kind, John.
all right, Tom Emmer with us, Majority Whip. Now, just let me get this out of the way. First of all, I love Sally Fox, your comms director. She is phenomenal. She gets back to me.
The best.
We built a relationship. She's funny, but she represents you so well. You should be so proud of her. I deal with a lot of comms people. I always compliment the good ones. She's the best. And just
Blushing. She's sitting in the office here and she's blushing.
no, she's just an extraordinary young lady. We have invited you to my Make DC Great event on March 16th, where I'm running for Ward 2 chairman. Hope to get you there. I know you guys are trying to work it out, and we'll have a big crowd. We can get you there. I'll have well over 100 people, so it'll be fun. It'll be in DuPont Circle, so hopefully you can work it out, sir. I would be
That'll be
honored.
fun.
I'd be
Message
honored to have you.
received. I think they're working on it though.
They're working. Sally always gets back to me. Okay. Tariffs. I mean, I had a big narrative on it today. President Trump, 45 minutes after what I thought was a stupid decision on a technicality, goes in the briefing room, and basically 45 minutes later, he was upset, right? That's fine. But then he's got, okay, well, here's what we're going to do. And he tripled down, and now we got a global 15% tariff. What were your thoughts on that, sir?
Well, Donald Trump, we're better off as a country because of what Donald Trump has done in just his first year in office, almost a year in office. John, he's been fighting on behalf of our farmers, our manufacturers. He wants our people to have just as good of access to foreign markets as we give to foreign countries coming into our market, the greatest market in the world, the United States of America. I'm like you. Although I respect the Supreme Court, I'm not going to do what the Democrats do, which is try to burn it down and identify individual judges. I agree, though, with the dissenters on the opinion. You're reading something into the Constitution. It's not what we're supposed to do as Republicans. And it's the same thing when you're interpreting laws. You're supposed to interpret the plain letter of the law. It talks about his ability to control imports. Just because you don't use a term tariff, that is just one method for controlling. Because if they would have said tariff, that would be the only method that he could use. And I believe it was more broad than that. I think the court is trying to write its own narrow interpretation, which is the court's right. And, I was asked over the weekend about the money. I don't know what about these Democrats, John. You've been listening to these Democrats say, okay, now we should give the money back. To who? to the UK, to the Western Europeans who have been shafting us for years on this deal, to China? Who are these guys representing, John? Are they representing Americans and America first, or are they representing? I mean, this is no different than when Donald Trump took out Maduro. The Venezuelans seem to be happy. The biggest screams were coming from Democrats in Congress here in Washington, D.C. So while I don't agree with the decision as a lawyer who does this stuff or did this stuff for a living, the Supreme Court has made its decision, and God bless Donald Trump. He's going to continue to pursue the agenda that 77 million Americans voted for, and he's going to continue to put Americans first. He'll get it done.
We're with Majority Whip of the United States Congress, Tom Emmer, representing the 6th District of Minnesota in leadership. Congressman, let me ask you this. There's been debate about how much money we collected. Let's just, for the sake of argument, it seems to be about $200 billion somewhere in there on these tariffs. What if the president went to Congress and said, "I tell you what, we're going to do. There's been no guidance on it, so I'm just going to give checks back to the American people. This is their money. It was off their backs, and then I guess you can all sue them to get the money back." What if he did that?
Actually, I think that'd be very interesting and something that I would not believe that this president is not capable of. He is. He could do that. But John, look, this is a case of first impression in my mind under any event. You know, any president could have used this particular law the same way and interpreted it this way. It took the Supreme Court to put their fingerprints on it before we knew, okay, now you're going to say tariffs this way. You can't use it. Even though, think about this, John, he put the tariff on as an emergency measure against Canada and Mexico. Why? Because of the fentanyl deaths that we were having in this country. We were losing up to a plane load of Americans every single day from fentanyl overdoses before Donald Trump took office. These two emergency tariffs that he put in place, we have fentanyl deaths down 25% since the beginning of Donald Trump's term. So you can't argue it didn't work. It was working. But now that the court has said, here are the guardrails on this thing, it's a case of first impression. You move forward. I know the Secretary of Treasury said the lower courts will decide that. I think every lower court should say that, sorry, no harm. There is no foul here. So there is no harm. We're going to move forward.
Well, he certainly tripled down on it. Tom Emmer with us, Majority Whip, United States Republican Congress in leadership. Majority Whip Emmer, let's get to tomorrow night. It's going to be a big thing. I've heard that this speech is going to be one of, if not one of the best he's ever delivered. What do you look for in the President's State of the Union speech tomorrow night, Tom Emmer?
Well, I think the State of the Union is strong under President Trump, and I think it's going to be historic, the speech, because this past year has been historic. Donald Trump has built back the U.S. economy brick by brick, John. I mean, if you look at what he's done, thanks to the Working Families Tax Cut Act, also known as the Big Beautiful Bill, tax cuts, tax refunds are already 11% higher this year, John. People are feeling that right now. Inflation continues to get what it's at 2.4%. It continues to drop under Donald Trump. More importantly, the economy's starting to grow, John. If you look at the third quarter of last year, before the Working Families Tax Cut Act even became law, it was 4.3%. In the fourth quarter of last year, they initially reported 4.4%. I know they revised that down to 4.1%, but this quarter they're predicting 5% growth or higher. Mm-hmm. Just think about this, John. After the train wreck that was 4 years of an economy under Joe Biden, mm-hmm. Donald Trump is doing what he did in his first term. He is creating, again, the formula for the greatest economy in the world. He did it in his first term. I think he's going to do it on steroids this term. You're going to see this continue to increase going into the summer and into next fall, which is also going to play well for the midterms. But tomorrow night, I think President Trump is going to tout all these successes. And you watch. People like you will celebrate this thing. Democrats and the left-wing media, they'll be mute. You watch.
What do you think of this security breach that went on in Mar-a-Lago over the weekend. Some guy gets in there, he's got a shotgun, he's got a gas can. Of course, President Trump is in D.C. here with in the White House, but how does that happen?
Well, I'm not going to be apologetic about it. Look, Mar-a-Lago is very secure, and yes, they talk about a breach. The guy's dead. Guy brought a loaded weapon and a can of gasoline, and he's dead. It's not. It is secure. This is what happens when you try to do whatever he was up to. Who knows? We'll probably find out more in the days to come. Unlike the Pennsylvania assassination attempt, where they waited and waited and waited, where they put a once and future president back on stage, knowing that there was an armed someone in the vicinity, which is nuts, John.
Right.
This guy went through a line of security. They discovered him, thank goodness, and they confronted him. And when he would not comply with their lawful orders, he was shot.
What? How do we turn the corner and win these midterms?
I'm unlike what I refer to as the bedwetters and hand wringers out there. Relax. This is the media. This is what they always do. You know, I did an interview on one of our better channels last week, and they said, we've got a new poll that shows if the election were today, Democrats would have a slight edge in the House. And my response was, really? Are these the same pollsters that had Trump and Kamala neck and neck going into the November election? This is what the media does. This is their job. Their job is to create some kind of car accident so that people will stop and pay attention. They need content. And these are emotionally driven, John, week to week. I guarantee you a poll in my state 6 months ago would have looked much different from a poll in my state 3 weeks ago. So this is not the time to be polling and telling us what November of this year is going to provide. I believe we're going to be in a great spot. The map has never been better for us. They are defending 16 of their members who are in Trump seats. They've got another 20 plus members that are in seats that they won by 5 points or less. Because let's face it, Donald J. Trump moved the needle with traditional Democrat voters more than anyone ever has. That includes young people. That includes working men and women, black voters, Asian voters, Hispanic voters, even liberal Jews. More of them voted for the Trump agenda than ever before. Now, did they become Republicans overnight? No. But if they believe, and I believe every one of these elections is an emotional experience, the vast majority of this country kind of comes to life after Labor Day of an election year. They get up and they go, do I feel better today about my situation, my personal situation, than I did when this all started? Do I feel like my future and the future for my children looks bright because of the economic opportunity, the prosperity that this country affords to everyone? I believe it's going to. And when they do that, they say, I'm going to vote for more of what I already have, as opposed to I'm going to vote for a change. I think we're in a great place, John. Let's just keep doing the work. Donald Trump is leading the way. And by the way, that's the other thing that we've never had before. A lame duck president who cares. Donald Trump cares. He understands what Democrats are all about. They don't want to see America succeed. They've made that very clear. And most of them have Trump derangement syndrome. Look, I'll stop with this, John. Who's their leader? Who's their leader and what's their message? Right? If they think affordability is the word, well, we just say waste, fraud, and abuse. If they say health care, Donald Trump's already doing it. We say health insurance. Democrats and the health insurance industry conspired together 15 years ago to create the Unaffordable Care Act. And what's happened in the last 15 years, there's one health insurance company whose valuation has gone up 1,700%. Guess what? Insurance has become unaffordable, and because of that, most Americans are having trouble getting the insurance they need to get the health care that they deserve. And Donald Trump and Republicans are the only ones that are going to deal with that. So they don't have a leader. They don't have a message. Republicans, and I believe under Donald Trump's leadership, are going to have the economic advantage when we get to next fall, and we're going to win.
Tom, I love your optimism. I mean, if it fires us up on Monday, and I believe you, I believe everything you're saying. Because I'm very bullish on the midterms. I think when this one big beautiful bill hits and these refunds start coming, and people realize they paid a lot lower taxes, like we are, things are going to turn. I know we're very pressed for time here, but I know you were watching that overtime game where the Americans scored the goal, 2 minutes in overtime, won the gold, and then that beautiful patriotic ceremony on the ice. You're a hockey fan. I'm a hockey fan. How did that make you feel?
Wow, hockey guys are the greatest, and it's not just the men's team; it's the women's team. We
They won too.
can't forget we won them both. But yesterday, I might have sent this to the chief executive of our country. I might have sent him a note that said, "Wow, what a game! I mean, you're outshot 42-28. You got broken teeth laying on the ice. You play through all of it, and you win the gold." I tell you what. If that was LeBron getting his teeth broken up, he would have been in hospice already, and he'd been out for 7 months. This is what America's all about. And then to listen to that young man come out and celebrate his country, John, that's what it's all about. It's not about being a Republican, a Democrat, or something else. It's about being an American. And those guys, really, they embodied it yesterday. It was great that they did what they did. How about that Hellenbuck in the goal? He really is the story.
He's a story. I mean, she stopped 42 shots, and I mean, I feel sorry for the guy because he's a great goalie, and whenever he gets to the playoffs with Winnipeg, I mean, he just doesn't do very well. So, but he really showed his talent. I think I bet Winnipeg to win the Stanley Cup in 25 based on him, and I think they got knocked out in the second round.
Yeah.
So that money went down the tubes. Okay, I know we got to go. Sally's gonna be mad. I just got to ask these two quick questions. How far can the Minnesota Wild go?
I think this might be the year of the Hughes, John. It might be, it's interesting. The same formula that the Olympic team is the one that used to win the gold is the one that they're using in Minnesota. Granted, the talent on that Olympic team you can't match, right? Those are the best players in the NHL, the best players in the world. But Billy Guerin, the general manager of the Minnesota Wild, was the general manager of the U.S. Olympic team. And you saw John Hines, our coach, was part of Mike Sullivan's team. And you saw Quinn Hughes score one of the overtime winners. To see him and Jack yesterday was amazing. And Matt Boldy, don't forget about Matt Boldy, man. We get goaltending, the Minnesota Wild are going to be a force.
Well, I'll tell you what, it was great redemption for Mike Sullivan, who didn't have a good run in Pittsburgh and then collapsed. The Rangers have collapsed. All right, this is the final thing. I promise I got to go. And the Twins, see, I love what the Twins did, okay, even though I'm an Astro fan, and thanks for giving us Gray and paying his salary. Thank you.
Yeah.
But I love the fact that, like, this is a rebuild. I mean, you just get rid of everybody except Joe Ryan. You start over. Can they get anywhere near 500?
I think they can. Obviously it's very early, but you look at the talent. If these young kids that they've got filling in, and they didn't get rid of everybody. I mean, they got Royce Lewis, they got Byron Buxton. They've got some serious talent that's still in that organization. By the way,
Joe Ryan.
It's all about pitching. Yeah, they've got Bailey Ober. They've got pitching in that organization. Taj, the young man they picked up from the Phillies. You just don't know. They are going to be competitive no matter what, John. And it's time for the boys of summer. Right after we drink out of that Stanley Cup.
All right. Well, I think they're going to be a little bit better. I'm not a believer in the Tigers. We had Framber. The guy was 1-9 in the last 10 starts, knocked us out of the playoff. Plus, he's a head case. Don't like him. Anyway, I don't like anybody that's not on my team anymore. I hate him. Thanks for giving me Carlos Correa. That's like such a good deal. Here's Carlos Correa, and we'll pay his salary.
I'm going to talk to Sally. We're going to have to do a Minnesota-Maryland baseball game and hopefully see your son.
We're both in the Big Ten. Are they playing? I'm going to check the schedule and go to Sally.
I don't know. I'm going to look now.
I'll look now. I'm not sure if they're playing, but Tom Emmer, thank you. People want to follow you, sir. You got to go. Where do they go?
Emmer.house. Emmer.house. What is it, Sally? Emmer.house.com. Thank God I got Sally here.
Thanks, Tom, for being
Hope
with
you
us.
survive Snowmageddon. Hang in there.
The great Washington, D.C. snow hoax. There's no snow. Mark makes next.